Calm Classroom is a mindfulness-based social and emotional learning program. It can be implemented school-wide, in small groups, or one-on-one during counseling sessions with students. The program is rooted in research, and its success has been reinforced through thousands of teacher surveys and individual school case studies comparing pre- and post-behavioral and academic data. The program is composed of breathing, focusing, relaxation, and stretching techniques. The Calm Classroom 3-minute scripted techniques are delivered 3 times each day in the classroom at the elementary middle school level and 2 times per day at the high school level. If implementing in full-day pre-kindergarten or kindergarten settings, techniques can also be taught twice per day. Through regular practice of these techniques, students will build self-awareness, mental focus, and emotional resilience, the 3 pillars of Calm Classroom. Practicing Calm Classroom techniques helps students become more adaptable to change and emotionally resilient in the face of stress. We all have positive and negative ways of dealing with stress. However, most of these strategies cannot be used to manage stress in the moment. The skills taught in Calm Classroom can be practiced anytime, anywhere, and work to deactivate the body's stress response. We live in a stressed out world. Teacher and student stress is at an all-time high. How does all of this stress impact your students? The following video from TED Ed will help us explore this question from a scientific and long-term health perspective.
Are you sleeping restlessly, feeling irritable or moody, forgetting little things, and feeling overwhelmed and isolated? Don't worry, we've all been there. You're probably just stressed out. Stress isn't always a bad thing. It can be handy for a burst of extra energy and focus, like when you're playing a competitive sport or have to speak in public. But when it's continuous, the kind most of us face day in and day out, it actually begins to change your brain. Chronic stress, like being overworked or having arguments at home, can affect brain size, its structure, and how it functions, right down to the level of your genes. Stress begins with something called the hypothalamus-pituitary-adrenal axis, a series of interactions between endocrine glands in the brain and on the kidney, which controls your body's reaction to stress. When your brain detects a stressful situation, your HPA axis is instantly activated and releases a hormone called cortisol, which primes your body for instant action. But high levels of cortisol over long periods of time wreak havoc on your brain. For example, chronic stress increases the activity level and number of neural connections in the amygdala, your brain's fear center. And as levels of cortisol rise, electric signals in your hippocampus, the part of the brain associated with learning, memories, and stress control, deteriorate. The hippocampus also inhibits the activity of the HPA axis, so when it weakens, so does your ability to control your stress. That's not all, though. Cortisol can literally cause your brain to shrink in size. Too much of it results in the loss of synaptic connections between neurons and the shrinking of your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that regulates behaviors like concentration, decision-making, judgment, and social interaction. It also leads to fewer new brain cells being made in the hippocampus. This means chronic stress might make it harder for you to learn and remember things, and also set the stage for more serious mental problems like depression and eventually Alzheimer's disease. The effects of stress may filter right down to your brain's DNA. An experiment showed that the amount of nurturing a mother rat provides its newborn baby plays a part in determining how that baby responds to stress later in life. The pups of nurturing moms turned out less sensitive to stress because their brains developed more cortisol receptors, which stick to cortisol and dampen the stress response. The pups of negligent moms had the opposite outcome, and so became more sensitive to stress throughout life. These are considered epigenetic changes, meaning that they affect which genes are expressed without directly changing the genetic code. And these changes can be reversed if the moms are swapped. But there's a surprising result. The epigenetic changes caused by one single mother rat were passed down to many generations of rats after her. In other words, The results of these actions were inheritable. It's not all bad news, though. There are many ways to reverse what cortisol does to your stressed brain. The most powerful weapons are exercise and meditation, which involves breathing deeply and being aware and focused on your surroundings. Both of these activities decrease your stress and increase the size of the hippocampus, thereby improving your memory. So don't feel defeated by the pressures of daily life. Get in control of your stress before it takes control of you.